Hi, Marcel, the Wood Butcher here. This episode, again, I'm shooting outside. I apologize for the light. I apologize for anything else like that production-wise, because my production staff, which is non-existent, is out to dinner or whatever excuse they use. Anyway, what I'm doing is this video is about resurrecting a project that I failed at in the past, but have perfected and kind of put it aside, and you know, because I was doing other things, until I decided I found it amongst my failed project pile, and decided, no, I'm going to fix this, and it is. And subscribers that have been watching my videos have heard before about the 5-tiered candle holder, and I'm going to flip this camera around because, like I said, I'm on the cell phone, so you're going to go on the space station for a second, and oh, look at that beautiful backyard patio table, okay? And here's the project, resurrected. That's what it's intended to look like, right? Well, the blue tape won't be there, but let me tell you about what that blue tape was. When I first started this project, I started out by drilling. You know, I made my 2.5-inch, 2 3/4-inch pieces. I really don't remember the dimensions, but I'll write them down and post them as we finish. And drilled, you know, with a Forstner bit, nice and smooth. And the pilot hole that the Forstner bit left was my cue to stop drilling. Well, that worked on this one, and it worked on another one. But as I was preparing to make this video and putting this tape on, which I'll get into, the one that had a solid bottom to it, this little piece came out. That's how close the drilling was to fit the spindles that are on here. So what I decided to do was the spindle, like this guy here, that still had the bottom in it, I decided to take all these other spindles that obviously went all the way through. How am I going to mount them at the same height so that they're all level across with the tiers that I have here? Well, then I decided I would take the one that still had the automatic stop in it, put it on a spindle, and then I would make a pencil line where it met, and take 3/4-inch painter's tape, this stuff here, 3/4-inch painter's tape, used about a 1-foot section, a lot of wraps around where the lines were to make these match. You'll notice there's a little crimping there, and the reason I did that was because when I experimented with this and put the piece on, I could give it a turn or two to make sure that the spindle and the candle holder were level or close to level. Okay? So here's the process I did. That's number 1, that's 2. Okay, it's on there. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5, which still has, and you can see the daylight through that hole as well as I can, because once again, That's how thin. I hope that can focus. That's how thin I stopped drilling. So I just anticipated that the blowout is going to come on this too, and it's going to come out, and it's a good thing I did, because I think you can see, I mean, you can see daylight through there. So you know the pop out is coming out. So let's do something. Let's do something right now. Let's, we won't pop it out yet. And we'll put it in the top position. And like I said, you can see here where it's already starting to pop out. Well, let's pop it out. And that's the thin piece of material. Okay? Now the dilemma is, obviously these are going to be glued, but let's look at grain alignment. You got to say, this thing is going to look nice, okay? Grain alignment, I want this one to be in line with the grain straight across with this one. So he needs to be turned a bit so that it's a straight line of grain. And it also gives, instead of it being, okay, it matches the base. No, let's do it like this. So it's kind of triangular against there and matches this side. Samey here, here, and here. I hope this camera lets you see the grain alignment. And this grain alignment, nothing of this is glued yet. But my dilemma is the apex up here. Do I leave it straight like this with the grain alignment coming towards you? Do I turn it and have the grain alignment going that way? Or do I put it at a diagonal and basically have it kind of match? Well, my fingers and hands have hit some of the other ones, but let's line these up again. Okay. There. 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 And there. And the finished product would look either like that, or like this, or like that. Or the grain matching across with the rest, the actual square. I'm going to rely on your replies. And I will be posting, if anybody's interested in resurrecting this product, on how to make these, right? There is not a nail in this. There's a lot of glue. Well, not a lot of glue, but there is now. You know, because I have to glue. And that's the reason I used 12 inches of tape. Because as I pop these off, right, I'm going to line the spindle with glue here all the way around. My favorite wood glue, and I don't want to mention Titebond 2 because they're not a sponsor of mine, but I don't care. But I think it's a fantastic product. I think it's actually better than Titebond 1 or Titebond 3. What I don't like about Titebond 3, it discolors when it dries. But apply the glue here, then put this guy on. Isn't that grain beautiful? Isn't that pretty grain? And then spin it so that the grain goes straight across. And what that actually does is it puts the unit where they're kind of askew, right? But anyway, this is how I fixed my screw up. And the next one of these I make, I won't make the same mistake again. I'll start off this way and taper the dowels a little bit so that the candle holders will only slide down so far instead of having to go through this extra process step. But hey, you know what? I'm going to spin you around. You're going to go on the space station for a second, and I hope that you catch me in the right lens, because, like I said, I'm shooting off the cell phone again, and my production staff, well, they're non-existent. I don't have one. It's just me and me alone. But I'm going to rely on your input on whether that, you know, the high point, the apex point candle holder should be straight across, or, you know, with the grain, matching the grain of the other candle holders, or should it be triangular? I'm kind of looking at straight across because I think it keeps it uniform. Well, uniform is nice to me, being a former Marine. So, but anyway, I know a lot of you probably lost faith when I started this project and really made mistakes on it, but it's resurrected to become a reality. Okay? So for right now, this is Marcel, the Wood Butcher, saying, protect your eyes, protect your lungs, protect your ears, and don't ever forget about these guys when you're working around saws and cutting utensils. Okay? Bye.